Hello, it's Karen, and today I'm going to show you how to make a raw marinara. It's super easy, and it's a really wonderful thing to make ahead of time because the flavors really develop. So I like to make it the night before I know I'm going to serve it with, say, a raw lasagna or a raw spaghetti, which I'm actually going to have this evening. The ingredients are very ripe tomatoes. We're going to have a little bit of lemon in there to just kind of zip up the flavor a little bit. Some nutritional yeast. This is an optional ingredient. I think it just rounds out the flavors really well. We're going to use some sun-dried tomatoes that have been reconstituted. Some basil that I've chiffonaded. And that's essentially you roll up the basil leaves and then you slice them widthwise, and you make these beautiful ribbons. And that's actually what chiffonade means. We're going to have a clove of garlic, some chili pepper flakes, add a little heat, and then again to round out the whole recipe, add a little sweetness because it has a lot of bold acidic flavors, so add a little sweetness to balance that. And today I'm going to use some coconut sugar. You could use a date if you wanted. Some Italian seasoning blend, and then some salt and pepper. So the first thing I want to do is add the garlic to a food processor. But what I'm going to do is take this garlic and slice it lengthwise. And there's this little germ inside the garlic. What I'm going to do with that germ is remove it, and the reason for that, and if you want to know what the germ looks like, it looks like the makings of a stem, because that's essentially what it is. It's germinating. If you remove that germ, then what it does is it helps remove any bitterness that raw garlic can impart to a dish. It also makes it easier to digest, so people who find that they have an issue with raw garlic, oftentimes removing that germ will completely fix that situation. So I'm going to just quarter this garlic. And I'm going to run that in the processor first because I want it to incorporate really well with all the other ingredients. So let's just get that process down. Okay. So the next thing we're going to add is our tomatoes. I'm using Roma tomatoes, but you can use whatever ripe tomatoes you have. Definitely want them really ripe because this recipe, the more ripe the tomatoes are, the more bold and beautiful the flavor becomes. So I'm just quartering it to help assist the whole processing. Make it easier on the machine. All right, so I'm going to add the Italian seasoning, a little bit of that sugar, or actually all of that sugar, the nutritional yeast, add some wonderful B vitamins as well. The, let's see here, the chili flakes. I like a little bit of zip in my marinara sauce. And I'm not going to add the basil just yet because I don't want this whole recipe to turn kind of a muddy color on me. I'm going to kind of incorporate that in towards the end. Okay, let's go ahead and scrape down the bowl, which when you're using a food processor, you'll find that it's a good idea to stop it and scrape it down periodically just to make sure all the ingredients blend in together. So we'll run that for just a second more. So I have the sun-dried tomatoes, and they've been soaking for a few hours. And this soak liquid is so beautiful. It just, again, it adds so much additional flavor. So I'm going to take the soak liquid and put that in. And while the food processor is running, I'm going to add through the top chute here these sun-dried tomatoes. And the whole point, of course, it's going to add an amazing bold richness to this recipe, but it also thickens it up really nicely. So let's go ahead and start adding that. Just drop them in a few at a time. So that is nice and thick. I'm going to go ahead and add the lemon, the juice of one lemon. And I'm going to add most of the basil. I'm going to reserve a little bit just to top the dish with, because it looks so pretty. So I just kept a little bit for a little garnish. And add a little bit, about a half of a teaspoon of pink Himalayan salt. 1 teaspoon of black pepper. Again, I'm going to scrape down this carafe. Give it another whirl. It, and this is the point where we decide whether or not we need to add anything. That's called flavor balancing. Nope, perfect. I mean, it's ready to eat straight away. It's still going to be delicious. I do, like I said, like to make it the night before because those flavors just develop so beautifully. It's kind of like, you know, if you had a cooked marinara, you always know like the next day or the day after is just like even more bold and beautiful. So let me move some stuff out of the way here because I'm going to get a plate. And I had spiralized up some zucchini noodles earlier. And we'll just go ahead and put some on the plate here. And you can cut them down with some kitchen scissors. Because they can get quite long. And we'll go ahead and top it with the sauce. Yum, yum. Love it. Put a little bit of that chiffonaded basil on there. And there you go. Ready to serve. So quick, so simple. This sauce will last about 4 to 5 days in the refrigerator. Just make sure you put it in a nice, tightly lidded vessel, preferably glass, because you know this has the tomatoes have an acidic component to them, and so they can leach nasty chemicals out of plastics. So again, just use the glass. It's pretty inert. And anyway, enjoy, and thank you so much.